Introduction: why this audiobook will change the way you learn English forever. Welcome to Fluent Forever. Learn English with ease. If you've picked up this audiobook, you already know that English is more than just a language. It's a gateway, a bridge, a tool that can open doors to travel, careers, friendships, and personal growth. But let's be honest, learning English can also feel frustrating, confusing, and overwhelming. Maybe you've tried before. You studied in school. You memorized vocabulary lists. You listened to grammar explanations. But still, when it came time to speak, you froze. Or maybe you understood written English fairly well, but when native speakers talked, especially fast, it sounded like a blur. You didn't know where one word ended and the next began. Does that sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. In fact, you're exactly who this audiobook was made for. A new way to learn. This audiobook is not a textbook. It's not a boring grammar lecture. And it's definitely not a collection of random vocabulary words. This is a guidebook for real fluency, for confidence, for connection. You will learn English in a way that works with your brain, not against it. A way that builds fluency naturally through real-world listening, speaking, and thinking in English. It's time to stop memorizing and start communicating. It's time to stop fearing mistakes and start speaking with confidence. It's time to let go of perfection and reach for progress. This audiobook is your companion on the journey. Who this audiobook is for. This audiobook is for you if you're a beginner who wants a clear, supportive starting point. You're an intermediate learner who understands grammar but struggles to speak or understand fast English. You've studied English before, maybe for years, but don't feel fluent or confident. You're ready to stop learning about English and start using it. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It only matters that you're ready to move forward. The problem with how English is usually taught. Let's talk about what doesn't work. Traditional language learning often focuses too much on grammar rules, rote memorization, and translation. You sit in a classroom or in front of a textbook, learning how to talk about English more than actually learning to use English. You might pass tests. You might remember how to conjugate verbs. But when you try to have a real conversation, you freeze. You hesitate. You worry about getting it wrong. Why? Because you were trained to be correct, not to be fluent. You were trained to fear mistakes, not to grow from them. You were taught English as a subject, not as a living language that connects human beings. That ends here. The Fluent Forever philosophy. So what does fluent forever mean? It means fluency that stays with you. English that becomes part of your thinking, your habits, your life. Not something you study and forget, but something you live. Here's the core of the Fluent Forever philosophy. Fluency starts with listening. You must train your ears before you can speak confidently. Mistakes are essential. Every mistake is a sign of progress. Speak early. Speak often. Don't wait to be ready. Start now. Learn what you'll actually use. Focus on real phrases, real conversations. Think in English. Stop translating in your head. Consistency beats intensity. 10 minutes a day is better than 1 hour once a week. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent, curious, and courageous. What you'll learn in this audiobook. Each chapter of this audiobook focuses on one powerful step to help you become a confident English speaker and listener. You'll learn how to train your ears to understand native English, even fast speech. How to speak more fluently, without pausing or translating. How to build your vocabulary the smart way. Hint, don't learn every word, just the right words. How to think in English and stop depending on your native language. How to make grammar feel natural, not confusing. How to fix your pronunciation and sound more like a native speaker. How to practice just 15 to 30 minutes a day and make real progress. How to build habits that make English a part of your daily life. And most of all, you'll learn how to enjoy the process of learning English, to stop seeing it as a burden and start seeing it as an adventure. This audiobook is different. You won't find lectures here. You won't find long lists of irregular verbs or grammar terms. Instead, you'll find simple explanations in clear, slow English, real-life examples and conversations, motivational tips to stay consistent and excited, exercises you can do as you listen so you learn actively, encouragement, Always. You'll hear me speak naturally, sometimes slow, sometimes faster, just like in real conversations. You'll learn to follow rhythm, tone, and connection, because English is more than words. It's music. And once you learn to hear that music, everything becomes easier. What you need to begin. You don't need expensive software. You don't need to move to another country. You don't need to spend hours every day. You just need a desire to learn, a commitment to show up every day, even for just a few minutes, a willingness to speak, even if it's not perfect, and this audiobook to guide you. That's it. Fluency doesn't come from magic. It comes from small, daily actions that build into big change. You are not alone. Right now, millions of people around the world are learning English. Just like you, they're struggling with the same challenges. They're celebrating the same small victories, and they're growing one day at a time. You are part of a global community, and you're not alone on this path. I'll be here with you every step of the way, cheering you on, guiding you, pushing you gently forward. Ready to begin? If you're ready to transform how you learn English, if you're ready to build fluency, confidence, and clarity, if you're ready to stop waiting and start speaking, then let's begin. Because the best time to become fluent is not someday, it's now. Chapter 1. Your journey to English fluency begins here. Congratulations! You've just taken a first step in one of the most powerful and life-changing journeys you'll ever take, the journey to English fluency. Learning a language is not just about memorizing vocabulary or understanding grammar. It's about becoming someone new, someone who can express themselves in another tongue, someone who can connect across cultures, borders, and beliefs. And here's the good news. You can do this right now, in this very moment. Your English journey has officially begun. Why learning English matters. Let's start by asking a simple question. Why do you want to learn English? For many, it's about opportunities, a better job, higher education, or moving abroad. For others, it's about confidence, being able to speak in meetings, travel without fear, or make international friends. Maybe for you, it's all of these. English is more than just a language. It's a global tool, a passport to the world. With over 1.5 billion speakers across the globe, English is the international language of business, science, aviation, entertainment, and the internet. When you learn English, you open doors. And behind those doors are new chances, new people, new places, and a new version of yourself. The truth about fluency. Let's talk about fluency, what it really means. Fluency isn't about knowing every English word or speaking like a native. It's not about perfect grammar or having zero accent. Fluency means you can understand and be understood, communicate your thoughts clearly, speak without fear or hesitation, listen and respond naturally. In short, fluency means freedom. And here's something important. You don't have to wait years to feel fluent. You can start to feel confident after just a few months, even weeks, with the right approach. So let's make this clear. You do not need to be perfect to be fluent. What holds most learners back? If English feels hard for you, it's not because you're bad at languages. It's because you haven't been taught in a way that matches how the brain actually learns. Think about how most people learn English. Memorizing grammar rules they never use in real life. Studying long vocabulary lists out of context. Reading more than they listen. Fearing mistakes instead of learning from them. Translating everything in their head before speaking. That's the old way, the frustrating way, the slow way. In this audiobook, we use a better way. The Fluent Forever method. The Fluent Forever method. Our method focuses on 3 simple, proven principles. 1. Mindset first. Before you open your mouth, you must open your mind. Learning English is not only a skill, it's a belief system. If you believe, I'm too old, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good at languages, then those beliefs will become true because they limit your action. But if you change the story to, I improve every day, mistakes are how I grow, I will become fluent one step at a time, then you unlock your brain's ability to adapt, learn, and evolve. Fluency begins with belief. 2. Daily action. The secret of fluency is not talent, it's consistency. Just like going to the gym builds muscles, daily English practice builds fluency. Even 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. That's because language learning is compounding, like interest in a bank. Each small effort builds on the last. In this audiobook, you'll learn how to create a simple daily routine that trains your ears, voice, and confidence in less than 30 minutes a day. 3 Real English. You won't learn English by memorizing phrases like, "The cat is under the table." You learn English by using it. That means listening to real conversations, speaking out loud daily, learning common phrases, not rare words, practicing with materials you enjoy. The more you engage with real, living English, the faster you grow. Make mistakes. Lots of them. Most learners are afraid to make mistakes. They want to sound perfect before they speak. But here's the truth. The more mistakes you make, the faster you learn. Mistakes show you're trying. Mistakes teach you what works and what doesn't. Mistakes push you out of your comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens. So, don't hide from your errors. Celebrate them. They're proof that you're moving forward. Set your English vision. Right now, let's take a moment to imagine your future. Picture yourself speaking English fluently. You're having a conversation confidently. No hesitation. You're understanding movies without subtitles. You're passing that job interview, giving a presentation, or traveling with ease. You feel proud, excited, and powerful. This is not a dream. This is your destination. To get there, you need 2 things. A clear vision, your why. A daily system, your how. This audiobook will give you both. What to expect on this journey. Each chapter of this audiobook will guide you through a powerful aspect of fluency. Here's what you'll learn. How to train your ears to hear fast, connected English. How to speak early and build confidence quickly. How to think in English instead of translating in your head. How to learn the most useful vocabulary first. How to master grammar without studying long rules. How to improve your pronunciation and sound natural. How to stay consistent and never lose motivation. You'll hear real English spoken clearly at different speeds and with real-life phrases. You'll practice listening, shadowing, speaking, and thinking in English, all while building the habits of a fluent speaker. You can do this. You may have tried before. You may have stopped or felt stuck or doubted yourself. But now you have a new method. You have a guide. And most importantly, you have a reason to keep going. Every single fluent English speaker started where you are. A beginner, a learner, a dreamer. The only difference between them and you is that they kept going. And so will you. Your first step. Here's what I want you to do right now. Say this sentence out loud. I am learning English and I will become fluent. Smile. Seriously, smile. That's the sound of belief. And belief is where everything starts. Promise yourself to listen to 1 chapter a day, or even just a few minutes. Keep showing up. You're stronger than you think. Final words. This is your journey. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be persistent. Fluency isn't far away. It's already beginning, right here, right now. In the next chapter, we'll begin with one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Training your ears to understand real English, fast, clear, and confidently. Let's get started. Chapter 2. Training your ears, understanding fast, natural English. One of the most common struggles for English learners is this. I understand English in textbooks, but I can't understand native speakers. They talk so fast. You're not alone. In fact, this is one of the biggest challenges learners face. And the reason is simple. You've been learning English the slow way, but hearing it the fast way. In this chapter, we're going to change that. We'll train your ears to recognize real English, the way it's spoken in conversations, movies, interviews, and everyday life. Not classroom English, not robot English, but natural, flowing, fast English. And trust me, you can understand it. Your brain just needs the right training. Why native English sounds so fast? Have you ever noticed how native speakers seem to speak in one long sound? Let's look at a simple sentence. What are you doing? In writing, it's clear. But when spoken quickly, it becomes, what ya doing? It's almost like all the words are squished together into one. This is called connected speech. native speakers. Drop sounds. Blend words. Use contractions and reductions. For example, going to becomes gonna. Did you becomes didya. Wanna becomes wanna. These reductions happen naturally, and they're completely normal. So, if you're trying to hear every word separately, you'll struggle. But once you train your ears to recognize patterns, everything becomes easier. Listening is a trainable skill. Just like learning to play an instrument or ride a bike, listening is a skill and it can be trained. The more you listen to English, the more familiar the sounds become. Over time, your brain gets better at processing what it hears, faster and more accurately. But there's a key difference between passive listening and active listening. Passive listening is what we do when music plays in the background while we're doing something else. Active listening is when we focus, repeat, and mimic what we hear. In this chapter, we'll use active listening strategies to help you hear faster English more clearly, understand without subtitles, recognize common phrases by sound, not spelling, build a foundation for better speaking. 2. Step 1. The loop method, short, powerful listening practice. Here's one of the best listening techniques. The loop method. This is how it works. Choose a short audio clip, 10 to 30 seconds. Listen to it 3 to 5 times. Don't pause. Don't stress. Try to write down or repeat what you hear. Listen again, this time with a transcript or subtitles. Repeat the phrases out loud, copying the rhythm and pronunciation. Let's try it with a simple sentence. I'm going to grab some coffee. You want anything? The first time, it might sound like, I'm gonna grab some coffee. You want anything? Confusing, right? But after 3 to 4 listens, your brain adjusts. You start to recognize chunks of speech, not just individual words. This is the key. Native speakers speak in chunks, not word by word. Train your ears to hear those chunks, and you'll understand more with less effort. Step 2. Shadowing. Speak with your ears. Now, let's take it further with a powerful technique called shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a sentence and immediately repeating it, almost at the same time. It's like being the speaker's shadow. Why is this powerful? Because it improves your pronunciation. It builds your rhythm and flow. It forces your brain to focus. It connects listening to speaking instantly. Here's how to do it. Listen to a sentence. Repeat it out loud, copying the tone, speed, and emotion. Don't worry about being perfect. Just keep up. Practice with the same clip daily. Even 5 minutes of shadowing a day can make a huge impact. Pro tip. Use YouTube videos, podcasts, or this audiobook. Pause. Rewind. Repeat. Shadow what you hear, and your ears will level up fast. Step 3. Listen to what you love. Want to make listening easier? Listen to content you enjoy. Do you like movies or series, English music, sports interviews, comedy shows, or travel vlogs? Whatever it is, use it. When you enjoy what you're listening to, your brain stays engaged. You learn without even realizing it. Start with content that's just slightly above your level. Not too easy, not too hard. Use English subtitles at first, then wean off them gradually. You can even repeat your favorite scenes or songs daily. Repetition builds fluency. Step 4. Use technology, but wisely. Use tools like YouTube with playback speed at 0.75x, Netflix with English subtitles, audio players with loop features, speech-to-text apps for pronunciation checking. But be careful. Don't rely too much on subtitles in your native language. They train you to translate instead of understand. Stick to English input as much as possible. Remember, the goal is to think in English, not convert it. What about accents? English has many accents: British, American, Australian, Indian, and more. Don't be afraid of them. Start with one accent you prefer, maybe American or British, and focus there. Later, you'll naturally adjust to others. The more you listen, the more flexible your ears become. Practice plan, 15 minutes a day. Here's a simple daily listening plan. Minutes 1 to 5. Listen to one short clip, 10 to 30 seconds. No subtitles. Minutes 6 to 10. Shadow the clip, repeat after the speaker. Minutes 11 to 15. Watch with subtitles. Write down new words and repeat them. Do this every day. It's short, it's focused, and it works. Your ears will get stronger, sharper, and faster. Real progress feels like this. At first, everything sounds fast. Then you hear one word, then a phrase, and a full sentence. Eventually, you forget you're listening to English, and you're just understanding. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Every minute you spend training your ears brings you one step closer to fluency. So be patient, be consistent, and trust the process. Final words. You've now learned one of the most powerful skills in English fluency, how to train your ears. Remember, native English is fast because of connected speech. Listening is a skill, and skills can be trained. Use short clips, repeat often, and shadow aloud. Focus on real English, not textbook sentences. The more you listen, the more you understand naturally. In the next chapter, we'll unlock the next part of the puzzle. Speaking English confidently, even if you make mistakes. Let's find your voice. Chapter 3. Speak first, perfect later. Building confidence to talk. Welcome to Chapter 3. By now, you've taken your first step toward fluency and started training your ears to hear fast, real English. Great work. Now it's time to face one of the biggest fears English learners have. Speaking. If you've ever hesitated to open your mouth in English, if you felt nervous, shy, or afraid of sounding silly, if you ever said, "I'll speak when I'm better," this chapter is for you. Because the truth is simple. Fluency begins when you speak, not when you're perfect. Let's destroy the fear and build real, unshakable confidence. Why most learners wait too long to speak. Let me ask you something. Have you ever studied English for months, maybe even years, but still felt nervous speaking to a native speaker? You're not alone. Millions of learners experience this. They study grammar. They read books. They watch videos. But when it's time to speak, they freeze. Why? Because speaking requires confidence, not just knowledge. You may know English in your head, but your mouth hasn't practiced using it. Just like playing an instrument, riding a bike, or learning to swim, you can't just think about it. You must do it badly at first, and then get better. Speak first, perfect later. Here's a truth that will set you free. You do not have to speak perfectly. You only have to speak. In fact, trying to be perfect is the number one reason people stay silent. They wait until their grammar is perfect, until they know more vocabulary, until they feel ready. But that moment never comes. So here's a better rule. Speak badly now, so you can speak well later. Speak with broken grammar. Speak with hesitation. Speak with your accent. Speak with simple words. Just speak and watch what happens. Because the more you speak, the faster you learn. The faster you speak, the sooner you'll feel fluent. How babies learn to speak. Think about how children learn language. They don't study grammar books. They don't take vocabulary quizzes. They don't say, "I'm not ready to talk yet." They listen, they copy, they babble, they make mistakes, and then they grow. That's your job too. You don't need to be a baby to learn like one. You just need to create a safe space to speak freely. Build speaking confidence with these 5 steps. Let's now go step by step through how to build your speaking confidence from day 1. 1. Talk to yourself every day. Yes, really. Talk to yourself. You might feel silly at first, but it's powerful. Describe what you're doing. I'm brushing my teeth. Now I'm making coffee. I need to leave in 10 minutes. Or speak your thoughts. I'm tired today. I want to learn 10 new words. I'm proud I listened to English today. This builds fluency because it trains your brain to think in English. No pressure, no judgment, just daily practice, anywhere, anytime. 2. Use shadowing again. With voice. In the last chapter, we shadowed English to improve listening. Now we'll do it to improve speaking. Listen to a native speaker say something and repeat it right away. Match their rhythm, their tone, their emotion. This connects your ears, mouth, and memory. Even 5 minutes of shadowing per day improves pronunciation and fluency. 3. Record your voice. Many learners hate hearing themselves speak English. But recording your voice is one of the most powerful confidence tools you can use. Why? Because you'll hear your own progress. Here's what to do. Choose a simple sentence or paragraph. Record yourself speaking. Compare it with a native speaker version, if possible. Repeat it again after shadowing. Over time, you'll be amazed at how much more natural you sound. 4. Practice speaking without a partner. Don't wait for a conversation partner. You can practice speaking on your own. Try reading English stories aloud, retelling a short video or podcast in your own words, practicing common dialogues. Hi, how are you? I'm good. You? Speaking into AI tools or apps designed for practice. If you can speak to yourself, you'll be more confident speaking with others. 5. Focus on communication, not perfection. The goal is not to say everything correctly. The goal is to be understood. So if you forget a word, describe it. Example, you forget the word knife? Say, the thing you use to cut food. You're still communicating. That's fluency. Use your hands, your body, your facial expressions. Communication is bigger than words. Simple speaking exercises, 10 minutes a day. Here's a daily routine to build confidence. Minute 1 to 3, talk to yourself. Describe your day. Minute 4 to 6, shadow a short clip or sentence. Minute 7 to 9, record yourself repeating the clip. Minute 10, smile. You just spoke English today. You don't need hours. You need daily courage. What if you make mistakes? You will, and you must. Mistakes are not a sign of failure. They're a sign of growth. Every fluent speaker, even native speakers, makes mistakes. The difference? They keep talking. So the next time you make a mistake, smile, correct it if needed, and keep going. You're not learning to be perfect. You're learning to express yourself freely. What if people judge me? Many learners fear judgment. What if they laugh at my accent? What if I say something wrong? What if they don't understand me? Here's the truth. Most people are not judging you. They're impressed that you speak more than one language. They're supportive, not critical. And the few who do judge, ignore them. They're not worth your energy. You are learning. You are growing. You are brave. Never forget that. Final words. Speaking is the heart of fluency. Yes, you will feel nervous. Yes, you will make mistakes. But every time you speak, you get stronger. So don't wait. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for progress. Speak first. Correct later. And trust this. Every word you say brings you one step closer to fluency. In the next chapter, we'll go even deeper into the secret of thinking in English. Because once your thoughts are in English, your fluency becomes unstoppable. Let's go. Chapter 4. How to think in English. Stop translating. Let me ask you something. When you speak English, do you catch yourself thinking in your native language first, then translating in your head? If you do, you're not alone. This is one of the most common habits English learners have, and one of the biggest things holding them back from fluency. In this chapter, we're going to break that habit. You'll learn how to stop translating and start thinking directly in English, just like fluent speakers do. Why is this so important? Because when you think in English, you speak faster, you make fewer mistakes, you feel more confident, and your brain becomes truly bilingual. Let's unlock that power together. Why translating slows you down. Imagine this. You want to say, I'm hungry, but in your brain, this happens. Think in your native language. Translate the sentence. Try to remember the English words. Worry about grammar. Finally say, I'm hungry. That delay, that confusion, that hesitation, it all comes from translation. It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. When you think in English, everything flows more naturally. Your brain doesn't have to convert anything because English becomes your thinking tool. How children learn languages naturally. Think about how children learn their first language. They don't translate. They don't switch back and forth between languages. They just absorb the language around them and start thinking in it, even before they can speak full sentences. That's the goal, not just to speak English, but to experience life in English. The good news? You don't need to be a child to do this. You just need to train your brain in the right way. 3 stages of thinking in English. Let's break the process down into 3 stages. Stage 1, word-level thinking. You start by connecting simple English words to real things, not to translations. For example, when you hear apple, don't think of the word in your language. Think of a real apple. Picture it. Taste it in your mind. Chair equals chair, not a word in your native language. Happy equals smiling face with smiling eyes, not a translation. Use pictures, feeling, and experiences to anchor words, not just dictionary definitions. Stage 2, phrase thinking. Next, you move to phrases, short, useful sentences that you can use in daily life. Examples. I'm tired. What time is it? That's a good idea. Let's get coffee. You don't break these down. You just think of them as one piece. Like a Lego block. The more blocks you collect, the more flexible your speech becomes. Stage 3, full English thinking. Finally, you begin to process life in English. You wake up and think, I need a shower. You see someone and think, she looks happy today. You walk outside and think, it's too hot. You're not translating. You're experiencing the world in English. This is fluency. 5 powerful techniques to think in English. Now, let's go over practical daily techniques to train your brain to think in English, even if you're just starting out. 1. Name things around you, word-level thinking. Wherever you are, look around and label objects in English. Example, phone, table, window, bag, shoes, blue sky, big truck, loud music. Say the words out loud or in your head. Do it often. Over time, your brain will stop needing the translation step. 2. Narrate your day, phrase thinking. Talk to yourself in English as you move through your day. Examples. I'm brushing my teeth. Let's cook dinner. I don't feel like working today. I should check my email. You're training your brain to describe life in English. It's simple. It works. And you can do it anywhere. 3. Use mental movies. Imagine little scenes in your head, all in English. Picture yourself ordering at a restaurant. Can I have a coffee, please? Talking to a friend. I saw a great movie yesterday. Traveling. Where's the nearest train station? This is imagination training, and it rewires your thinking. 4. Use monolingual English dictionaries. Stop using a dictionary that translates into your language. Instead, use a simple English-to-English dictionary. For example, happy equals feeling good. Tall equals more height than normal. Quiet equals not making much sound. This keeps you inside the English bubble. 5. Don't translate when you don't know a word. When you forget a word, don't panic. Use English to describe it. Example, you forget the word gloves. You can say, the things you wear on your hands when it's cold. That's fluency. And this process strengthens your English thinking muscle. How to build the habit daily, 10-minute routine. Here's a simple daily habit to train your mind. Minutes 1 to 2, name objects around you out loud. Minutes 3 to 5, narrate what you're doing or thinking. Minutes 6 to 7, imagine a short English dialogue. Minutes 8 to 10, write a journal entry, 2 to 3 sentences in English. Example entry. Today I feel tired, but I'm proud I practiced English. I will study more after dinner. You don't need perfect grammar, just expression. You are training your brain to operate in English like a native. Progress feels like this. At first, you'll catch yourself translating. That's okay. It's normal. Then, you'll start thinking of some words in English automatically. Later, full sentences will come to mind without effort. Eventually, you'll realize, I just thought in English and I didn't even notice. That's the goal, not perfection. Automatic thinking. Final thoughts. If you want to speak English fluently, you must think in English first. This chapter has shown you how. Let's review. Translating slows you down. Thinking in English speeds you up. Start small with words and phrases. Practice daily with narration, naming, and mental movies. Describe things using simple English. Be patient. Your brain is learning a new way to process life. Fluent thinking equals fluent speaking. You're not just learning a language. You're changing the way you think. That's powerful. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the 80-20 rule of vocabulary, how to learn only the most useful words and phrases, and skip the rest. Because fluency is not about knowing everything. It's about knowing what matters. Let's keep going. Chapter 5, the 80-20 rule of vocabulary. Learn what matters most. Here's a question many English learners ask. How many words do I need to know to be fluent? The answer might surprise you. There are over 170,000 English words in the dictionary, but you don't need to know all of them. In fact, you don't even need to know 10,000. Why? Because in daily life, we only use a small portion of the language again and again. That's where the 80-20 rule comes in, also known as the Pareto principle. It says, 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. And in language learning, 80% of English conversations come from just 20% of the vocabulary. Let that sink in. That means if you focus on the right words, you can become fluent faster with less effort. In this chapter, you'll learn how to focus on what really matters. Why learning every word is a waste of time. Many learners try to memorize long vocabulary lists. They download flashcards. They write down 50 words a day. They spend hours learning rare words they'll never use, like wombat harpoon or catastrophe eyes. The result? They feel overwhelmed. They forget most of what they memorize. And worst of all, they still can't speak fluently. That's because knowing a word doesn't mean you can use it. And not all words are equally useful. To build real fluency, we need to focus on frequency, how often a word is used, relevance, how useful it is to your life, context, how it's actually used in sentences. Let's build your vocabulary the smart way. Step 1. Learn the most common 1,000 words first. Studies show that the top 100 English words make up about 50% of all conversations. The top 1,000 words cover over 85% of everyday communication. That means if you master the top 1,000 words, you'll understand almost everything people say in daily life. Words like go, come, want, need, eat, good, bad, today, tomorrow, where, when, how. These are high-frequency, high-impact words. Start here. These are the building blocks of fluency. You can find lists of the top 500 or 1,000 words online, or use a frequency-based vocabulary app. But don't just memorize these words. Learn them in real sentences. Step 2. Focus on phrases, not just words. Let's say you learn the word get. That's good, but the word get has many meanings depending on the phrase. Get up equals wake up. Get in equals enter a car. Get out equals leave. Get along equals have a good relationship. Get equals understand. Get over it equals move on emotionally. So just knowing the word get isn't enough. You need to learn chunks, whole phrases. Phrases are how real English works. That's why instead of memorizing this, delicious equals means tasty. Learn this. This pizza is delicious. It gives you the meaning, the grammar, and the real usage all in one. So always ask, how is this word used in a sentence? If you don't know, find out. That's how fluency is built. Step 3. Personalize your vocabulary. You don't need to learn every common word. You need to learn the ones that matter to you. Let's say you work in IT. You love photography. You're a parent. Then words like server, camera, upload, homework, nap, those are more important for you than words like harvest, night, or astronaut. So start building your personal fluency list. Ask yourself, what do I talk about every day? What topics matter to me? What English conversations do I want to have? Then learn the vocabulary specific to your life. This makes learning faster, more enjoyable, and more useful. Step 4. Use the words immediately. Here's something many learners forget. If you don't use it, you lose it. When you learn a new word or phrase, use it that same day. Say it out loud. Write it in a sentence. Use it in your journal. Say it in a pretend conversation. Use it when talking to yourself. Example, you learn. I'm looking forward to it. Use it right away. I have a trip this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. That one action helps lock the phrase into long-term memory. Repetition equals retention. Step 5. Review with space repetition. Use apps like Anki, Quizlet, or Memrise that use space repetition. Space repetition means you review new words often at first, then less and less over time, just before you're about to forget. It's a smart system that helps you remember more with less effort. But again, always study phrases, not just words. Don't learn. Book equals something you read. Instead, learn. I'm reading a good book right now. That's how you build fluency, one phrase at a time. Your 10-minute daily vocabulary routine. Here's a simple routine. Minutes 1 to 2. Review 5 to 10 important words from yesterday. Minutes 3 to 5. Learn 3 new phrases related to your life. Minutes 6 to 7. Say each new phrase out loud. Minutes 8 to 10. Write a short paragraph using them. Example, today I'm feeling a bit tired, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'll probably read a good book and relax at home. Now you've used your new vocabulary in context, and that's where fluency lives. Final thoughts. Let's recap. You don't need to know every English word to speak fluently. You need to focus on the top 1,000 most common words. Learn useful phrases, not isolated words. Personalize your vocabulary to match your life. Use the new words immediately. Review them with spaced repetition. This is the 80-20 rule in action. By learning less, but learning smarter, you'll reach fluency faster and enjoy the process more. You're not trying to become a walking dictionary. You're becoming a confident communicator, someone who uses English in real life for real goals. And that's what matters most. In the next chapter, we'll explore grammar the easy way, how to absorb correct English naturally without drowning in rules or confusion. It's time to make grammar feel simple, natural, and even fun. Let's go. Chapter 6, Grammar Without the Pain. Learn it like a native. Let's be honest. For most English learners, the word grammar brings one feeling: fear, tenses, conjugations, prepositions, irregular verbs. The rules seem endless. The exceptions even more confusing. You may have asked yourself, do I really need to study grammar to speak English fluently? Why does grammar feel so difficult? Can I speak English without learning hundreds of rules? Here's the truth. Yes, grammar is important. But no, you don't need to suffer through it. In this chapter, we'll show you how to learn grammar the way native speakers do. Naturally, slowly, without pressure, and with real-life examples. It's time to stop memorizing rules and start absorbing them instead. What is grammar, really? Let's take the fear out of the word. Grammar is not a monster. It's simply the system of how a language works, how we put words together to express meaning. It's the patterns behind what we say. Word order: I eat pizza versus pizza eat I. Verb tenses: I go versus I went. Articles: a and the. Prepositions: on, in, at, by. You use grammar every time you speak, even in your native language, without thinking about it. So, why does English grammar feel so hard? Because you're trying to understand it before using it. But native speakers do the opposite. They use it first, then understand the rule later, if ever. Let's follow the same path. The problem with grammar books. Traditional learning often starts with grammar books full of complex charts, long explanations, rare sentence structures. Example: the present perfect progressive tense is used to express an action that began in the past and continues into the present. Using have slash has been plus verb ing. Confused? Most people are. Now compare that with a sentence like, I've been learning English for 2 months. You probably heard this before. You've maybe even said it. And guess what? That is the present perfect progressive. So instead of learning the rule, learn the example. Then use it. Repeat it. Make it part of your speech. Later, the rule will make sense because you've already experienced it. Learn grammar like a baby. Let's go back to how babies learn language. They don't sit down with grammar books. They don't ask, is that the correct verb tense? They just listen, copy, repeat, and adjust. They hear, he's eating, and they repeat, he's eating. Even if they make mistakes like, he eating, they still get better with time. Your brain works the same way. You can learn grammar by exposure and repetition. This is how native speakers internalize grammar. And you can too. 5 simple grammar techniques, no rules required. Let's explore 5 powerful techniques to help you absorb grammar naturally with less stress. 1. Learn grammar through phrases. Don't study grammar rules. Study phrases. Grammar lives in real sentences, not in charts. Instead of learning the past tense rule, Ed, just learn. I worked yesterday. She called me last night. We played soccer after school. Repeat those, use them, and your brain will see the pattern on its own. 2. Use correct input every day. Input means the English you hear and read. Make sure it's clear, correct, comprehensible, just above your current level. This could be audiobooks like this one, YouTube videos or Netflix shows with accurate subtitles, simple English news or stories. By seeing and hearing grammar in real use, you'll start to copy it automatically. No need to study it. 3. Speak and write to practice grammar. Use the grammar you're learning in. Speaking to yourself or others. Journaling just a few sentences a day. Voice recordings or videos. Even simple writing helps you think about sentence structure. Example journal. Today I didn't go to work. I stayed home and watched a movie. It was relaxing. You just used the past tense. Negation didn't. Pronouns, articles. That's real grammar practice without needing to name any rule. 4. Learn one pattern at a time. Focus on just one grammar pattern for a few days. Use it in as many sentences as you can. For example, practice. I'm plus verb ing. I'm eating. I'm reading. I'm learning English. I'm working right now. Use it again and again until it feels natural. Then move on to the next structure. Build grammar like a tower, one block at a time. 5. Make mistakes and learn from them. Most learners fear grammar mistakes. But remember, mistakes are the fastest way to improve. Every time you make an error and correct it, your brain builds a stronger memory. Say something wrong? Great. Fix it and keep going. That's how real progress happens. The most useful grammar to master first. Here are the grammar points that give you the biggest fluency boost. Present simple. I eat / you work / we like it. Present continuous. I'm eating / she's working. Past simple. I went / he saw / we watched. Future we're going to or will. I'm going to travel / I'll call you. Question forms. Where are you? / what did you say? Negatives. I don't know / she didn't go. Modal verbs. Can, should, must, e.g., I can speak English. Focus on these core areas first, and forget the rest for now. Advanced grammar will come naturally as you grow. 10-minute daily grammar practice. Here's a quick grammar routine. Minutes 1 to 2. Pick one sentence or structure, e.g., I'm going to. Minutes 3 to 5. Say it with different endings. I'm going to eat. I'm going to study. I'm going to relax. Minutes 6 to 7. Write 3 sentences using the pattern. Minutes 8 to 10. Say those sentences out loud, slowly, then fast. That's it. Simple, effective, fun. Final thoughts. You don't need to be a grammar expert. You don't need to memorize every tense. You just need to listen to English daily. Speak and write simply. Use common sentence patterns. Practice without fear. Let grammar come to you naturally. That's how fluent speakers learn grammar. And now you're learning that way too. So breathe. Relax. You're doing great. In the next chapter, we'll explore one of the most important and often ignored parts of fluency, pronunciation and accent. Because sounding natural can change everything, from how others understand you to how confident you feel inside. Let's speak clearly and confidently, together. Chapter 7. Pronunciation and Accent. Sounding clear, natural, and confident. Pronunciation is often overlooked by English learners, but it's one of the most important keys to real communication. Imagine this. You have great vocabulary. You know grammar well. You understand fast English. But when you speak, people ask you to repeat yourself. They misunderstand you. You feel frustrated. That's where pronunciation and accent come in. Why pronunciation matters. Good pronunciation helps you be understood clearly, feel confident speaking, build better connections with native speakers, avoid misunderstandings and confusion. Your goal isn't to lose your accent or sound exactly like a native speaker. Your goal is to sound clear and natural, so people can focus on your message, not your accent. Accent is part of your identity. That's beautiful. Pronunciation is a skill you can improve, and it's worth the effort. The sounds of English. English has many sounds, some that might not exist in your native language. For example, the TH sound in think or this, the difference between short and long vowels, e.g., ship versus sheep. The ending sounds like ed in past tense verbs, walked versus walk. Mastering these sounds makes your speech clearer. 3 steps to improve your pronunciation. Step 1. Listen carefully. Use your trained ears from Chapter 2. Listen to native speakers carefully. Pay attention to how they move their mouth, how their tongue touches the teeth, the rhythm and stress in their sentences. Use videos or audio with slow pronunciation to practice. Step 2. Practice mouth movements. English pronunciation depends a lot on how you move your mouth and tongue. Try this. Say the word think. Notice your tongue between your teeth. Say walked. Notice the ed ending. Repeat words slowly, exaggerating the sounds. You can practice in front of a mirror. Step 3. Shadow speaking again. Remember shadowing from earlier chapters? It works wonders here too. Listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately. Focus on matching. Sounds. Intonation, the rise and fall of your voice. Rhythm, the musical flow of sentences. This helps you sound more natural and less robotic. Tips for reducing accent, if you want. If your goal is to reduce your accent, here are some tips. Record yourself speaking and compare it with native speakers. Focus on the most common tricky sounds in English. Practice minimal pairs, words that differ by one sound, e.g., bat versus bet. Work with a teacher or language partner for feedback. But remember, you don't need to erase your accent to be understood or respected. Everyday pronunciation practice routine, 10 minutes. Minutes 1 to 3. Listen to a short sentence or phrase carefully. Minutes 4 to 6. Practice mouth movements for tricky sounds. Minutes 7 to 10. Shadow the sentence, repeating it with focus on sounds and rhythm. Example sentence. She thinks that this is the best idea. Common pronunciation challenges. Let's briefly look at a few common pronunciation problems learners face. Te sounds as in think, as in this. Ending consonants. Making sure to pronounce the last sound clearly. Vowel length. Short versus long vowels, e.g. ship versus sheep. Word stress. Stress in the right syllable, e.g. present versus present. Sentence stress and intonation. Using natural rises and falls to sound fluent. Why accent is beautiful. Your accent is a part of who you are. It reflects your culture, your background, and your journey. Native speakers respect clear pronunciation, not perfect imitation. Be proud of your accent. Work on clarity, not perfection. Final thoughts. Pronunciation and accent are skills, and skills can be improved. With daily practice, your English will sound clearer and more natural. And with that clarity comes confidence. So practice patiently. Listen deeply. Speak boldly. Your voice is powerful. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to keep motivated and consistent. The final secret to reaching your English fluency goal. Ready to keep going? Chapter 8. Motivation and consistency. The keys to long-term success. Learning English is a journey. And like any journey, it has ups and downs. There will be days when you feel unstoppable, full of energy, and ready to conquer the world with your new language skills. But there will also be days when motivation feels low. You might feel tired, distracted, or frustrated. You may wonder, is this even worth it? This chapter is about how to stay motivated and consistent, because those are the real secrets to long-term fluency. Why motivation matters. Motivation is the fuel that keeps your learning engine running. Without motivation, you may start strong but burn out quickly. You'll struggle to practice regularly. Progress will be slow and frustration will grow. With motivation, you'll show up even when it's hard. You'll push through challenges. You'll celebrate small wins and keep going. The 3 types of motivation. To understand motivation better, let's look at 3 types. 1. Intrinsic motivation. This comes from within. You learn because you love English. You enjoy the challenge. You want to connect with others or understand movies without subtitles. This motivation is the strongest and most lasting. Ask yourself, what do I love about English? Why do I want to learn it? Find your personal why. Keep it close. 2. Extrinsic motivation. This comes from outside. Maybe you need English for a job, school, or travel. Maybe someone told you to learn it. Extrinsic motivation can get you started, but it's less powerful long-term. Use it wisely as a push when you need it, but don't rely on it alone. 3. Social motivation. Humans are social creatures. Being part of a group or community can motivate you. Join English clubs, classes, or online groups. Practice with friends or language partners. Sharing your journey helps keep motivation alive. How to build consistency. Motivation gets you started. Consistency keeps you going. Here's how to build habits that last. 1. Start small. Don't aim for hours of study right away. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day adds up. Small, daily actions are easier to keep consistent than rare, long sessions. 2. Create a routine. Pick a regular time to practice, morning lunch break, or before bed. Make it part of your daily schedule. The more automatic it becomes, the less effort it takes. 3. Set clear goals. Goals give you direction and focus. Instead of vague goals like learn English, choose. Learn 10 new words this week. Watch 1 English video every day. Speak English for 5 minutes daily. Track your progress. Celebrate wins. 4. Use reminders and triggers. Set alarms, sticky notes, or app notifications to remind you. Link learning to existing habits. After I brush my teeth, I'll practice speaking for 5 minutes. Dealing with challenges. Obstacles are normal. Here's how to handle them. Burnout. Take short breaks. Change your learning method. Try games, music, or podcasts. Frustration. Remember progress takes time. Review how far you've come. Distractions. Find a quiet space. Turn off notifications. Use focus timers. Lack of progress. Adjust your goals. Focus on communication, not perfection. The power of positive reinforcement. Reward yourself when you hit milestones. Example rewards. Watch a favorite show in English. Treat yourself to something nice. Share your success with friends. Positive reinforcement makes learning enjoyable and sustainable. Building a growth mindset. Believe that your English skills can improve with effort. Replace thoughts like, I'm not good at English, with, I'm getting better every day. A growth mindset helps you embrace mistakes as learning opportunities, not failures. Your 10-minute daily motivation routine. Here's a quick routine to keep your motivation strong. Minute 1. Remind yourself why you're learning English. Minutes 2 to 5. Practice a skill you enjoy, speaking, listening, reading. Minutes 6 to 8. Reflect on progress. Write or say one thing you've improved. Minutes 9 to 10. Set a small goal for tomorrow. Final thoughts. English fluency is a marathon, not a sprint. Motivation lights the fire. Consistency feeds a flame. With both, you'll keep moving forward, even when the path gets tough. Remember, every word you learn, every sentence you speak, every moment you listen, is a step closer to your goal. You've come so far already. Keep going. Your English future is bright. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to make English a natural part of your daily life, so learning becomes effortless and fun. Ready to keep your momentum going? Chapter 9, Immersion and Environment, Living English Every Day. Welcome to Chapter 9. By now, you've built a strong foundation. You understand how to think in English, speak confidently, learn the right vocabulary, and stay motivated. The next secret to rapid fluency is simple. Surround yourself with English all day, every day. This is called immersion. Immersion means living in an English environment, so your brain naturally absorbs a language, just like a child does. But don't worry if you're not in an English-speaking country. You can create immersion wherever you are. Let's explore how. Why immersion works. When you're surrounded by English, your brain constantly processes English input, reading, listening, and even thinking. You start understanding natural speech patterns, slang, and real-life expressions. You see English used in real context, making it easier to remember and use yourself. You get more chances to practice speaking and writing. Immersion speeds up learning because it forces your brain to adapt and use English actively. How to create an immersion environment. Even if you live in a non-English speaking country, you can build an English bubble around you. Here's how. 1. Change your devices to English. Switch your phone, computer, and apps to English. This small step makes you see and use English every time you interact with technology. 2. Watch English media every day. Choose movies, TV shows, YouTube channels, or podcasts in English. Start with subtitles if you need, then try without them. Pick topics you love. It makes immersion enjoyable, not a chore. 3. Read in English. Read books, news, blogs, or comics that interest you. Start with simple material, then challenge yourself. Try to read a little every day. Even 5 minutes helps. 4. Speak English daily. Find a language partner or join online conversation groups. If you don't have a partner, talk to yourself out loud. Narrate your actions, tell stories, or repeat dialogues. 5. Label your environment. Put sticky notes with English words on objects around your home or office. For example, door, window, chair, refrigerator. This reinforces vocabulary in context. Using technology for immersion. Technology makes immersion easier than ever. Try these tools. Language learning apps with daily practice reminders. English podcasts and audiobooks during your commute. YouTube videos on topics you enjoy. Social media following English-speaking creators. Online forums where you can read and write in English. Use headphones to listen actively and repeat phrases. Immersion tips for busy people. No matter how busy you are, you can fit immersion into your life. Try these small habits. Listen to an English podcast during exercise or chores. Read English news headlines in the morning. Write a quick English diary entry before bed. Set your phone to English for short daily exposure. Watch a favorite English show while relaxing. Even 10 minutes a day makes a difference. Overcoming common immersion challenges. Sometimes immersion feels overwhelming or frustrating. Here's how to manage. Too hard to understand. Choose simple materials or use subtitles. Feeling bored. Pick topics or genres you love. Lack of time. Break sessions into 5-minute chunks. Fear of mistakes. Remember, immersion is about input and exposure, not perfection. Patience is key. Your brain is rewiring itself. Measuring progress in immersion. How do you know immersion is working? Signs include understanding more without translation, catching words and phrases in conversations or media, feeling comfortable thinking or speaking English, using new vocabulary naturally, enjoying English media more and more. Celebrate these small victories. They show your fluency is growing. Your daily immersion routine, 10 minutes. Try this simple daily routine. Minute 1. Review a new word or phrase from yesterday. Minutes 2 to 5. Listen to an English podcast or watch a video. Minutes 6 to 7. Read a short English text aloud. Minutes 8 to 10. Speak aloud. Narrate your day, describe something, or shadow a sentence. Consistency matters more than length. Final thoughts. Immersion is the most natural, effective way to learn English. It turns learning from a task into a lifestyle. By surrounding yourself with English, You create endless opportunities to improve without stress or pressure. You're no longer studying a language. You're living it. Keep building your English world, and fluency will follow. In the final chapter, we'll explore how to make English learning fun and creative. Because joy is the best motivator of all. Ready to make learning exciting? Chapter 10. Making learning fun. Creative ways to enjoy English every day. Welcome to the final chapter of this audiobook. Learning a new language can sometimes feel like a long, serious journey, but it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, one of the biggest secrets to success is having fun along the way. When you enjoy your learning, everything changes. You stay motivated longer. You remember words and grammar better. You look forward to practicing every day. So in this chapter, we'll explore creative, fun ways to bring English into your life. Turning study into play. Why fun is essential for learning. Fun releases dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. When dopamine flows, your brain forms stronger memories and connections. That means when you have fun learning English, you actually learn faster and better. Fun keeps stress away too. And less stress means clearer thinking and faster progress. Creative ways to make English learning fun. Here are some ideas to spark your creativity. 1. Play language games. Games make learning feel like a challenge, not a chore. Try word puzzles and crosswords. Mobile apps with gamified lessons. Flashcard games like Memory Match. Scrabble or Boggle in English with friends. Competition and play motivate your brain to focus and learn. 2. Watch movies and TV shows you love. Pick your favorite genres, comedy, drama, thriller, or even cartoons. Watch with subtitles first, then without. Try to repeat funny or interesting lines aloud. This helps with pronunciation, vocabulary, and understanding natural speech. 3. Sing along to songs. Music is a powerful tool for language learning. Find English songs you like. Look up the lyrics. Sing along. This improves pronunciation, rhythm, and vocabulary, all while having a blast. 4. Create stories and write your own. Use your imagination to make stories in English. Write short paragraphs or even dialogues. Try to include new words and phrases you've learned. This helps your brain connect vocabulary and grammar in a meaningful way. 5. Join social media and online communities. Follow English-speaking creators on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Comment, ask questions, or share your own thoughts in English. Being part of a community makes learning social and fun. Using humor to boost learning. Laughter helps you relax and absorb more. Try watching stand-up comedy or funny sketches in English. Share jokes with friends or language partners. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. The rhythm, tone, and gestures help you get the meaning. Humor connects you emotionally to the language. Personalize your learning fun. Think about your hobbies and interests. Love cooking? Follow English cooking channels or recipes. Enjoy sports? Watch games and learn sports terms in English. Into fashion, technology, or travel? Find English content in those areas. Learning what you love keeps things exciting. Mix it up. Variety keeps learning fresh. Avoid boredom by mixing different activities. One day, watch a movie. Next day, play a word game. Then, write a journal entry. Followed by listening to a podcast. Variety challenges your brain and keeps your curiosity alive. Fun daily English routine, 10 minutes. Try this playful daily practice. Minutes 1 to 3. Play a word or flashcard game. Minutes 4 to 6. Watch a short English video or listen to a song. Minutes 7 to 8. Sing or repeat lines from the video/song. Minutes 9 to 10. Write a short creative sentence or story with new words. Final thoughts. Learning English is a wonderful adventure. When you add fun and creativity, it becomes a joy, not a task. Remember, the best learners are those who enjoy the process as much as the goal. You now have the tools, techniques, and mindset to continue your journey with passion and ease. Keep exploring. Keep playing. Keep speaking. Fluency is not just about knowing English. It's about loving English. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Conclusion and closing remarks. Congratulations! You've reached the end of this audiobook, and what an incredible journey it has been. From building your foundation with smart vocabulary, to training your ears, gaining confidence to speak, mastering grammar naturally, improving pronunciation, staying motivated, immersing yourself daily, and making learning fun, you now have all the tools to become a fluent English speaker. Remember, fluency is not a distant goal. It's a daily practice. It's a mindset. It's a way of living English every day. There will be challenges ahead, but with patience and persistence, you'll overcome them. Every small step adds up to big progress. Keep practicing, keep listening, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep enjoying the process. Your voice matters. Your story matters. English is just a bridge to connect you to the world. Thank you for trusting me to guide you on this path. I'm excited for all the amazing places your English skills will take you. Until next time, keep speaking with confidence, listening with curiosity, and learning with joy. Good luck and fluent forever.